I'm Riley Harvey for VCN, and this is Wednesday night with the Online Events Company. We are live with the Winter Series. We've got the ladies and men's race just about to kick off shortly. We've got about 1 minute 50 to the start of the race. It is a race on the Swan tonight. It is a points race with 6 sprints, 2 laps, 21.6 kilometers and 446 meters of elevation. And you can probably see from that quite large graph at the bottom of the screen, there are 2 main climb points on this course. Those are where the action is going to happen. It's where we will see the attacks taking place, no doubt. We seem to be having a little bit of a jittery screen on the ladies event tonight, so I'm not sure what's causing that. We will be checking in with the ladies event, but we will probably sit in mainly with the men's event tonight, which is 7 riders: Richard Akers, James Claxton, Martin H, Andy Beale, Ali Hadfield, Ian McNally and Daniel Eremia. That's the pen complete now with 41 seconds left on the clock. We'll be underway momentarily. There are a number of riders in the women's event that are not real riders. There's bots in there as well. So I can see Aileen Davidson there. She is a real rider. Denise Matthews. Try and concentrate on a couple of the real riders in the ladies event there. Fortunately, it's looking quite sketchy on that. We've got Laura Whittingham there as well from React Racing. We are, for some reason, not following any riders at all in that race. So I think we're going to come out of the women's race. We will bring you the results of the women's race, and I'll give you some information on that as we're going along. I'm not entirely sure why it's behaving in this manner tonight. It's very sketchy for the graphics card that we're running. So jumping into the men's race and concentrating on that one now. Richard Akers, React Racing, leading at the moment. We are on board with Ian McNally at the moment, who's in a third group on the road and giving chase. Richard Akers there in the blue kit, just disappearing up the road slightly. Ali Hadfield, Neil Iramia giving chase. Group here of Ali Hadfield and Andy Beale. We're going into the first sprint section. Sprints remaining in this event. Stake has been caught by James Claxton up at the front. James there, you can see his light going green. He puts on a sprint there to get in front of Richard Akers. Those wisps going across the screen, that shows the direction of the wind travel. See, at the moment we've got a 13km/h wind which is coming across the riders up on the right hand shoulder. See a pause there from James Claxton. Looks like James lost power momentarily. Groups coming together somewhat. .1 into the race, 19.6 remaining, and just at the base of this first climb. Board with Richard Akers, who's winning the points race currently. He's got 25 points over 22 points to James Claxton, having won that first sprint section on an 8% gradient. Richard's pushing out 377 watts here at RPM 97. Just take a moment to mention the supporters that we have for these events. One of those is Pillar, who do AI training. If you're looking to get your training into the modern century, apparently AI is the way to go. They do training plans, and it's something you can do in conjunction with a real life coach, but the training plans are ultimately massively adaptable based upon the feedback that they get, and AI never sleeps, so it constantly updates rather than having to do these things manually like a traditional coach would do. There's more information about Pillar on the TOEC website, on the online events company website, and details can be found about other events that the online events company runs there as well. One of the other supporters is UPerform. And UPerform are a company that provides collagen-based gels and protein powders. Collagen is something that's come up on my radar more recently as I've been aging slightly more, as something that helps with your hair growth, your skin resilience, elasticity, and also internally with your joints and your ligaments. It's something that I've started taking as I'm knocking on a bit now to try and knock back the years. Not in vain, but well, don't want to look really old. Rather enjoy looking slightly younger than my years. With James Claxton now, he's in the lead. Currently first out of 6, with Richard Akers chasing. Richard Akers managed to open a 16-second gap on Richard tonight. Really opened up a bit of distance there. We would normally be bringing you footage of both races, but as I say at the moment, for some reason, just this evening, my PC is not playing well with IndieVelo, which is strange because both PCs are pretty much identical setups, but one's running nice and smoothly, the other's jumping all over the place. We've got Laura Whittingham from React Racing is leading the points total with 25 points currently. Aileen Davidson's in there as well, 9 points. Serena Ace is up on the scoreboard as well, just pipping Jazine Juncker, and Serena's there with 4 points and Jazine there on 3 points. I've seen Wendy Gallagher on the start list as well. Currently the ladies race being led by Lola Richmond. James Claxton there just taking some extra points and bringing his tally up to 47 currently. Richard Akers is in second place, being overtaken by Daniel Iremia, and now pushed into third on the points table. Yeah, Richard Akers is going to come over, and what that'll do to the points tally now when Richard Akers comes over. Points are over on the left hand side, points total on the screen. And Richard Akers there goes back up into second on the points tally. Just 2 points shy of James Claxton's score there. And in the ladies' race, you can see that Laura Whittingham still heading the top of the points table. 25 points over the next rider with 22. No changes there as yet. But unfortunately, still some issues with the graphic display for the women's race. We are running it in the background, but it's not a pleasant watch, so I won't make you suffer that, guys. I've been quiet for a moment now. I was just trying to adjust some settings, see if we could get the application running correctly, but it is looking like we're going to have to go a bit deeper into the settings than we'll be able to currently. So see Lola Richmond is coming up to the points start. Lola currently leading the ladies race. We've seen Junker from React Racing looking like the nearest of the React ladies. Currently Aileen Davidson a little bit further down the field. There'll be some changes, I think, whenever the point scoring happens in a moment. So in the men's race, we're still following Richard Akers just into the descent here. So another rider, we were passing another rider climbing there. We'll drift back in the men's race and just a little bit of a name check to all the riders who are taking part. We've covered James Claxton and Richard Akers. We've got Daniel Iremia. And this is Andy Beale, who's currently sitting fourth in the event. A little bit further back, we've got Ali Hadfield. Ali was up near the front attacking in the early section of this race. Dropped a few places back now. 4.9 kilometers in to lap 1. 15.6 kilometers to go, and currently sitting 5th. Confused by the ranking here because it is saying sitting 5th out of 6, but in the points we've got 7 riders showing, so sure that Martin H may have dropped out of the event there. And then we've Ian McNally. Ian McNally runs the Westerly series, which runs in the alternate weeks to the online events company. next week, if you want to get your Wednesday night fill, it will be an event by Ian McNally. We'll head back up to the front of the race in the men's event, and James Claxton, we can see in the distance behind James Claxton there, just coming under the arch, is Daniel Iremia. Daniel Iremia closing that gap down to 12 seconds and is in second place currently on the points board. And we've got Richard Akers coming over in a moment. We'll watch the points change now. Daniel Iremia on 60 points and Richard Akers goes up to 65 points. The gap to James Claxton's increasing slightly, and the gap between Richard Akers and Daniel Iremia is closing. James Claxton on to lap 2. .1 kilometers remaining for James here. Daniel Iremia keeping the gap at 13 seconds. Did very well to hold on to a rampaging James Claxton this evening. .440 watts from Daniel Iremia here. Low heart rate of 153. Gives the impression he could push a lot more watts here. Dark and moody skies out there. Daniel Iramia closing the gap down to 6 seconds. Daniel still pushes on here. Looks like less than 6 seconds to me, that gap in front to James Claxton. And as I say that, the gap drops down to 4 seconds. Really is pushing here, Daniel Iramia. 2 second gap. You can keep an eye on the top right hand corner. We should see the drafting icon start to fill up, the draft bar, as Daniel Iramia closes in on James Claxton. He's got to the wheel of James Claxton. He's gained a little bit of draft and now he's going through. James has eased off there. James letting him go. That's Daniel Iramia through and clear. James Claxton as the point tally continues to rise. James Claxton on 97. Daniel Iramia, who's just taken the lead, is in third place currently with 82 points. Meanwhile, in the women's race, Lola Richmond has taken the lead with 90 points. Laura Whittingham and Aileen Davidson are neck and neck, 7th and 8th on 36 points. Serena Ace in 16th with 12 points. And Wendy Gallagher into the top 20 with 6 points in 19th position. Oh, and Mr. Gesine Juncker there on 10th position, 32 points. So battling hard in the women's race. They have 9 kilometers remaining in their event, 7.8 remaining in the men's, as Daniel Iramia sets a fierce pace on the front. 305 watts, still a heartbeat of below 160. James Claxton in second position. On the road, he's first in the points tally, is pushing 181 beats per minute, keeping the gap consistent to Daniel Iramia. Richard Akers a little bit further down the road here, in third position, about halfway up the climb, suffering a 6% section at the moment. Good consistent RPM. Power down at 231 at the moment. The heart rate's relatively low too at 152. Andy Beale, a little earlier into the climb, 10% section. Got a bit of tailwind here, Andy. Enjoying that slight assistance of that 11 km/h wind, pushing up this hill a little bit. Ali Hadfield, 4 minutes and 4 seconds off the leader of the group. No heart rate monitor for Ali. pushing 280 watts. Low RPM, 61. Grinding it on this climb at the moment, and lower slopes of the climb. Don't know Ali personally. I wonder whether they've got the correct gearing or whether that's their style that they like to use. Perhaps from a mountain biking background. Mountain bikers, in my experience, tend to have a slightly lower cadence. And then Ian McNally, 4 minutes 51 off the leaders. 8.7k remaining for Ian McNally. And 2 sprints remaining. At 360 watts, good high cadence there, 90. Heart rate 167. I'll zoom back up to the front with Daniel Iramia. .7k remaining, 0.9k remaining till the next arch. Daniel, heart rate climbed somewhat, 164 now from the 150 that we were viewing earlier on. Still third in the leader board for the points. Losing 3 points out to Richard Akers now. So the points are based on the sprint section, so you don't necessarily need to be the leader to get those points. Got a comment from Cycling Bargains on the YouTube. Real world effect, I've only got single gear, I'm out. I'm wondering if that's Martin H who's jumped out of the event there. There is virtual gearing in IndieVelo, so if you have the ability to reach a keyboard, you can change gearing virtually. It has been under some revision recently, so I understand the last time it checked in there was some small errors had crept in, which I think the developers were trying to rectify, but yeah, hopefully that'll be sorted for all single gear riders soon. As Daniel Iramia comes over the line and goes up to 107 points now. Taking the lead from James Claxton momentarily. One expects when James comes over the line, he will jump back up in points there and take the lead once again. I'm not sure quite how many points are on offer here, but I think there's a possibility that James has won the points competition regardless of the efforts of Daniel Uremia here. That is presuming that James completes the race, which I'm sure he will. And yes, there we go. James Claxton in the points total goes up to 119, 12 points clear of Daniel Uremia. And it's looking like Daniel will have taken second place in the points away from Richard Akers here. Jump back to Richard as he comes over the line. Richard currently on 85 points. Putting in a big effort here at 383 watts. Coming up to gate 5. And Richard currently 85 points. 425 watts there. Big effort, big power coming up to the top of the crest of this hill and then onto the flat section. Virtual checkered flag in front. It signifies the end of sprint 5. And yes, Daniel Uremia has taken second place in the points from Richard Akers. And Richard will have to do something pretty significant to I think that is the last points achievable for Richard there. So it looks like that's the final setting for the end of this race as we're going into the descent. 5.4 kilometers remaining. I mentioned earlier on one of our partners, YouPerform, that we work with. There's a code and information in the description of the event if you want to try out their products. We also work with Richard Akers, who runs React Coaching, and we had a little trailer of theirs in the opening screen. And just while we've got Richard on the screen now, Richard's a very passionate triathlete, triathlon coach, and loves helping people achieve their goals. Here up to Daniel Uremia now with 1.4 kilometers remaining for Daniel. Daniel Irimia now. 0.7k remaining, 700 meters. You can see in the distance there the finish archway. Hard left, and the distance really ticking down quickly now. Daniel comes towards the finish line. $140 watts. Daniel completing the race. Got past a little virtual roundabout in the road there and hit the finish with Daniel. Daniel Irimia goes through the line. James Claxton here. 46 seconds behind Daniel Irimia when we got to the line. Now, but he's managed to eke out a 2-minute advantage over Richard Akers. That's James over the line, winning the points race, second overall. Richard Akers both third on the road and third in the points. With a gap to Andy Beale behind of 6 minutes and 19. Clear air between him and his closest competitor. Richard there wearing the React kit, which is available in real life. Been made by Stolen Goat, and Stolen Goat sponsorship in the event here. Yeah, the React branding and the online events company and Stolen Goat all across the back as Richard Akers comes up to the finish line. Finishes third in both the points and race section of the event. The hot seat with Andy Beale. Andy Beale, 3 kilometers left to go. Just give some information on the ladies race. There's Michelle Williams in 6th position on 72 points. Laura Whittingham, Aileen Davidson on 7th and 8th position at 58.49 points. Aileen Davidson seeming to have picked up some points later on in the race. Then we've got Cassine Juncker in 10th position. And then there is Serena Ace 16th, with Wendy Gallagher in 19th position. There's one sprint remaining for a number of the ladies, and about 2.1 kilometers overall till the end of the race for the leader. apologies tonight to have not brought you more information and more coverage of the ladies race. We would normally have shown both races side by side and switched between the two, but for some reason, unfortunately, the other PC is not enjoying IndieVelo. Currently it's more a series of still images and it is a video stream, so I'm not gonna make you suffer through that. It's the Andy Beale coming through the snows, 12-kilometer wind, hits the Flamme Rouge, starts pushing towards the finish of the race. Looking a little chillier in the IndieVelo world tonight, and we often see it. Big chunks of snow being drifted across the road there. They're also helping to illustrate the direction of the wind. Which is coming from Andy's left shoulder. It's turning into a headwind now as we come towards this finish line. See there the shifting of the snow drifts. It's a little bit confusing. In the top right hand corner you can see the arrow, but the direction of the arrow doesn't change as you rotate around the rider, so to bear that in mind, figuring out whether it's a left to right wind. Andy Beale now comes closing in, hammering up to that finish line with 100 meters remaining. That's where we started, and cruises through the finish line. Back through the trees to Ali Hadfield. They Hadfield 330 watts up to the finish line. Big sprint here, 490. You can see when the bike light on the back of the bike turns green, that's when they're putting in a sprint effort. 360 watts there, pushing towards the finish line, up over 400 several times there. Ali Hadfield comes up to the finish line, finishes in good style there. Ali Hadfield in time just over 47 minutes. We zoom backwards, fast forward to Ian McNally. Ian here in slightly sunnier climbs than the other riders were experiencing. The trees have turned back to green from the white of the snows as he approaches the Flamme Rouge. Ian McNally out of the saddle, 500 watt effort. 0.8k remaining. Turns that corner and we can see the finish line in sight. Ian McNally pushes on now. 100 meters remaining. Rolls over the finish line. Finish in a time of 50 minutes and 4 seconds. In the ladies race, we've got Michelle Williams just coming up on the finish line. It's going to be followed shortly after by Aileen Davidson and Gesine Juncker. Like Aileen and Gesine have had a faster second half of the event than they had for the first. Ian McNally's avatar there coming to a standstill as he comes through the race complete. That's the swan finished. As I say, ladies and gentlemen, apologies once again that we weren't bringing you coverage of the ladies race. It is something that we would normally do and something that we're sorry we couldn't do tonight. We will rectify that for the next event and make sure that we give equal billing to the men's and the ladies race. Unfortunately, technical issues this evening has prevented that, but we'll get to the bottom of that. That's been the stream for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it and hope to catch you next time around.